should be here recording all of my videos for the hot new Turtle Beach products releasing this week. And I will, starting this Sunday, I will have the Turtle Beach extravaganza coming out. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you're interested in any of this hot new gear coming from Turtle Beach. But in my recent review of the new SteelSeries Arctis Nova 5s, I've been getting asked a very similar question quite a bit. Should you get the Nova 7s or the new Nova 5s? And I've said it many times before, the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 7s are my favorite all-around headset. And why I state that, just to be clear before we dive into this comparison, is myself as a reviewer, yeah, we test a lot of the high-end stuff. Arctis Nova Pro, amazing headset for sure. Up to $3,000, $5,000, I think even more studio high-end quality headphones. And yeah, I love them and I use them, but if I was to class something as my all-around favorite, again, I like to stay level-headed as a consumer. If I wasn't a reviewer, what would I go to the store and buy? And the Nova 7s have always been that. So I understand and totally relate with y'all. Are the Nova 5s the new pick over the 7s? So what we're going to be taking a look at, again, are the Nova 5s. I have the Nova 5X, which is the version I recommend you get because, again, you can use it on every single platform. And now that they're app controlled, you don't have to worry about, again, does this work on this console or that console? It's going to work across all of them. So again, I highly recommend you go with the X version of the 5s. But over here, we have the regular 7s with the regular dongle that can't switch. And then over here with the 7X, which I primarily use, which you can switch over, and Snugs kind of got a hold of this dongle.
Aww.
And yes, as you see, I have my Nova 7s decked out in my Wicked Cushions gear. I have the replaceable plates on both of them over here. And then, of course, my Wicked Cushion freeze pads. I just love the style of this. Now, this is the FaZe Clan edition, hence the reason for that different headband. But again, SteelSeries does make custom headbands for these as well. But gosh, these just look awesome with the Wicked Cushions accessories. Links for Wicked Cushions down in the description. All right, so let's dive into the comparison here. And to keep it fair, again, we're going 5X, and I'm going to go against the 7X here because, again, both of these can be used on every single platform. So kicking it off with comfort, they're both pretty much the exact same. You do have your headband up here on the 7s, which is more or less a silky material. You can pop it out on the arms right there, and it does adjust in like that. You got that full swivel ear pad going in and out. Now coming over here to the 5s, again, you do have that adjustable headband, which, by the way, people asked if the headband from the 7s and the Pros can work on these. Yes, it can. I'll show you right here. I'll snap it right in. We got on the highest adjustment right now, and you see it fits in there perfectly fine. So if you want to buy one of those replacement kits from SteelSeries, maybe get a different color or a different headband, because I personally do like the headband on the higher end, the 7s or the Pros. It's got that silky material over here. You kind of have more or less that elastic bit, and then these hard plastic bits on the side. So I do prefer that headband better. And yes, you can switch them. And as far as adjustability on the new 5s, it's the exact same as the 7s. You got those tension arms going in and out right there. You got the forks moving around, your ear cup goes in and out. So again, they both have full swivel and the same adjustability. As far as ear cushions, they both come with the exact same ear cushions. Again, I have my Wicked Cushions over here. And yes, the same pads that you can use on the 7s will fit on the 5s. They simply peel right off, bam, right there. You can see they have the same type of deal for them to attach, and you can swap pads if you want. But again, the pads that come on the 5s are the same that come on the 7s. Very comfortable, but a little bit shallow. Now, before I close out the comfort and let you know which one wins, I want to roll right into the build because this does play into the comfort of both of these headsets. Over here on the 7s, the headband up here is reinforced with metal going all the way around it. And then as far as your forks, you can see you got one loop right over there. Some people have issues with this, how it dangles. It's never broken on me. Over time, if you use these for a year or more, this does loosen up quite a bit more. It's never broken on me again, but again, it does start to loosen up there quite a bit. But as far as the build, it's really just that fork, and then this is metal. Over here on the 5s, you see you got both forks going over, and the entire headset is plastic, which is incredibly lightweight. Now, yes, I do have my Wicked Cushions over here, which are a little bit heavier, but even without that, you notice the weight difference over here on the 7s compared to the 5s. These things are feather light. And when we take both of these headsets and put them on our head, again, take into account I have my wicked cushions over here, the clamping force on these are definitely a lot lighter. And I think that goes into play with that metal headband. Again, you're taking it, you're putting it on, so that's stretching out and kind of holding its position. Plus, you only have that one arm right there. So again, the ear cups are going to flex out a little bit more. So the clamping force on the 7s are definitely on the light end. Coming over here to the 5s, you know, I'm going to put these right on that line of light to medium, cresting right into medium there. No pressure. It's not hurting my glasses or pressing in or anything, but they stay put a whole lot more. And again, that goes into multiple areas. You got the full fork going over here rather than the one arm. You have the plastic headband, so it's going to really hold its tension over time. And it's incredibly lightweight, like no joke. If I was to give one the win for comfort here, hands down, it is the Nova 5s. Like, these things are amazing. The 7s are incredibly stinking cozy as well, but the lightweight of the 5s is fantastic. Now, features and functions is where things start to get a little bit juicy with these headsets. Again, as far as the dongles, talking about the X version, again, you can swap them from Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Switch, whatever. Just switch it over USB or Xbox. If you go with the Ps or the regulars, you do not get this option. So again, I repeat myself, go with the X version. Now, talking about the 7s, over here you got mic mute, your volume, all the way top, bottoms down, retractable microphone with the LED light down there. You also have a 3.5 port here, USB-C charging, which I believe on these guys you're only getting 36 hours or up to 36 hours. You have your game to chat dial, power button, Bluetooth, which this is simultaneous Bluetooth, so you can get game audio and music or video, whatever, 2 audio sources at the same time via, again, 2.4 or Bluetooth. Coming over here to the 5, a lot of the similar buttons. You got your mic mute, your volume, top, bottom to lowest. Now over here, just mild thing, you can see the buttons on the 5 or the volume wheel is much smaller than the one over there on the 7s. And it's also placed in a different location. On the 5s, it's down here on the lower lip. On the 7s, it's up here on this upper lip, which I do prefer, because if you sit on a couch, it's never going to, again, touch that roll or let it slide back a little bit. Over here on the 5s, again, if you're leaning back, you can get that accidental slip of the volume wheel, which they would have put it up here. Anyways, you got your microphone, retracts. You got that light for muting, which we do the mic test here shortly. Over here on the other side, you got your quick switch or Bluetooth button, power button, and then game to chat. Again, the wheel is placed down here on the bottom rather than up here as it is over on the 7s. Now, the Bluetooth on the 5s is not simultaneous. It's one or the other, hence the reason for the quick switch button. If you get a phone call, it comes right over and takes priority, but again, you're not going to get 2 audio sources. It's going to be straight up phone call, straight up Bluetooth music or whatever, or straight up game. When over here on the 7s, you can get both. And the battery life over here on the 5s is increased to up to 60 hours via Bluetooth, and I believe it's 50 hours via 2.4. So significantly longer than the 7s. Now, the biggest difference with the Nova 5s to the Nova 7s is the app control for the Nova 5s. I love this. I wish every gaming headset was controlled via an app. It's so convenient. You're in game, bam, come down here, get a custom EQ. These are all the Sonar preset EQs. If you want to get a saved EQ or your custom EQ, you have to be on PC, save the Sonar, and then to the headset, and then it saves over here to the app. So that's a little inconvenient, but I never caught myself needing that. Again, whatever game I was really using, these Sonar ones are dialed in really good, not excessive or goofy by any means. So really cool. And then, of course, you got different settings for Bluetooth. If you want a different EQ for Bluetooth in 2.4, you switch it like that. Again, some other settings as far as your microphone, your side tone, the mute LED, and then your basic settings over here as far as firmware and stuff. Now, as far as updating this headset, it does have to be plugged into a PC. I wish SteelSeries would add 2 things to this app. Number 1, over-the-air updates via Bluetooth on the app, and then also being able to set a custom EQ on the app rather than having to go to PC and then to this. But at the end of the day, this is game-changing. Again, I've stated it in many headset videos, Razors, Turtle Beaches, which they all do. I think every gaming headset should have an app function. Of course, if the headset has Bluetooth and it's in that price range. App functionality just makes headsets so much more convenient and a pleasure to use, because you can just swipe a finger, pick what you want as you're jumping around game to game.
Now for the test that I am incredibly excited about, because if you watch my standalone review of the 5X, they talked about the updated chipset, the Gen 2 whatever, and it lets 16-bit audio go from the microphone. We're all familiar with previous SteelSeries headsets. I've stated in just about all of my videos, and we all know their microphones are bad. They're just tinny, they're airy, like an old cell phone or walkie-talkie or something, which is probably what you're getting here. And to keep this fair, I got it right about a thumb's length from my mouth. So we're going to make sure we get the same distance over there. Now, you do have that mute light function on the microphone here. It's retractable again. You get that tone in the headset whenever you mute it. But as far as sound of the microphone, this is the Nova 7s, which is pretty much what you're going to get across all of them. The Nova Pros, any of the other Novas, this is what the microphone sounds like. Let's see if the updated one is truly better than the old one. And now you're hearing the microphone on the Nova 5X. Again, I'm right at that thumb length, maybe a little bit close. Let me bump it out there a little bit. So now we're right at that thumb length distance. And as far as in the app, I went ahead and set the microphone to right at 75%, and in my recording device the volume is set to the same of the Nova 7s here. And I will tell you what, just looking at my graph here, like, holy smokes, this headset is not nearly picking up as much as that headset was. So I think it's canceling out some of those other sounds. When you hear me talk, I have a lot of P's and T's, right? So that'll depend on how you talk there, but it's just a subtle down, more clear graph that I'm seeing when it's recording here. So again, listening to one to the other, we're going to hear that difference there, and there's no tweaking, no editing or anything. This is straight plugged and played. Of course, you do have that app control in here, which I have set to 75%, just so we're clear on that. And the mic difference, you do have the mute button here, which you do get a tone. It's a much quieter tone in this headset than compared to the 7s, and you also get that LED indicator. So again, mic to mic, let's see which one sounds better.
So I just listened to both of those microphone tests there, and clear as day, the Nova 5 sounds significantly better. There's more body in it. It sounds a little bit more full, a little bit more natural. When over here, again, it just sounds tinny, airy, like a walkie-talkie or just something bad like that, you know? Is this mic perfect? Is this the best gaming microphone you're going to find on a headset? No, it's not. Again, those P's and T's for me are still a little bit more prominent. I've experienced ones from like Razer and Logitech's One or Odyssey. Some of their mics are a little bit better, but again, they do also have those windscreens on them. You don't get that light indicator. So it's kind of like, I sit here thinking in my head, like, will I sacrifice a windscreen over this, which you can put it over for, like, you can get a pack of windscreens for like $5 on Amazon. But would I sacrifice that windscreen for that mute indicator? I love that mute indicator, so I know my microphone's muted right there, you know? So I don't know, maybe hopefully in future iterations of SteelSeries headsets, they can find a way to implement maybe a little pop filter, a little windscreen inside the microphone and still give us that. That one I'm going to give you for free, SteelSeries. Any other ideas after that, I'm going to charge you 5% for each unit sold. So how about sound? Is there a difference between either of these headsets? Well, I'll tell you what, they're both using 40mm drivers with a frequency range of 20 to 22,000. When you pop the ear cup off and look at the drivers, which the camera's not going to pick up, they even look the exact same. And yes, they sound the exact same. Briefly summarizing the sound here, which I've talked about so much, it's the same as the 7s. It's the same as the previous Arctis, where you can get into different sounds when you step up into the Pros. So with the new Nova line, they are a little bit more bass, a little bit more full. They're not heavy by any means or thumpy, but there's a little bit more body, a little bit more immersion, right? I play a Diablo, enjoying that new season. I play a lot of Destiny. Those are pretty much my two primary games. I'm playing Star Wars Survivor, whatever. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but my gosh, am I loving that game. So we got games with chaos, a lot going on, and then some dialogue and stuff, you know? And I can get everything I want here. Over on the 5s, I pretty much kept it on a Destiny EQ all the time, which was just nice, because again, I got detail, dialogue, environment, and music. I got everything right there, nice and balanced. Now, over here on the 7s, of course, you're going to be adjusting that stuff on the PC, which is a little bit of a pain, but yes, you're going to get the exact same sound over here. Now, when you slap on your Wicked cushions, it's going to hold in that sound a little bit more, since these are pretty much fully cloth, a little bit of pleather inside, but once they compress, it's pretty much full cloth. So if you want to lock in some more of that bass, a little bit more full sound, or block out some of the sounds from out there, definitely get your Wicked cushions and slap those on. But that's besides the point. The core sound here, it is fuller, but you still get that detail, and you can really play around with the sound. If you want a little bit more detail, a little bit more treble, you can get that here, right? So playing Diablo, you got all these monsters going around, and you got your abilities per your character, your class. You're still going to hear the separation of both of them. You can hear the monsters and again your abilities from your class. It's not like the monsters are going to overdo all the other sounds, which is what I really like. So I can still again get involved with my character and feel like I'm actually there. Same thing with Destiny. You got the Hive and this, that, the other, but you can still hear the reloads and the sounds of each different weapon if you're using a bow or a rocket launcher or something, you know, really cool to get that. And then going to Jedi Fallen Survivor, it's cool to get that dialogue, and then again that environment and the body. It just does everything you need. It's not doing anything too much or too little. It's right here. It's that sound I think everybody get down with. The previous Arctis line was focused on highs. So many highs on those, which is why I loved them back in the days, because I mainly played FPS games. These days, I really don't play too many FPS games. I'm looking forward to X Defiant, but again, a lot of them have gotten kind of stale, so I play a lot more story games or PvE type of games, and these really do it. Again, the biggest thing that's going to differentiate these two headsets is the Nova 5s being able to use app control. Just by your fingertips, if you're playing Destiny, bam, you swing over and you want to play an FPS game, or you want to come over to a racing game, you can do that. Over here, you're going to have to be on PC to adjust those sounds, which is a bit of a stinker. But at the core, yes, they both sound the exact same. So now for our final showdown, and maybe the biggest comparison that will make up your mind for you is the price, the value of these headsets. The Nova 7s are coming in at $180 MSRP. Now, they've been out for a little while, so you can find them for around $150 these days all day long, pending color and platform that you go with. And then the Nova 5s are coming in at $130. So looking MSRP to MSRP, 180, 130, I say all day long, go with the Nova 5s. It's a no-brainer, right? But say if we look at the sale price, you're only talking $20 difference. What is the key difference here? Simultaneous Bluetooth and then app control. Don't look at the build as anything different. I don't know. Maybe I might retract that and say the lightweight of this is a really good selling point, which I really do. So let me retract that and say the lightweight of the Nova 5s is definitely a big selling point. But you got to look at that. Is simultaneous Bluetooth a big factor for you? Playing racing games, you want your music? There's no question you're going with the 7s. If it's not, and you want that app control, and you just want to be able to get a phone call, which is pretty much what I need, and I absolutely love app control, the 5s are the clear as day winner. And yes, if it was me right now, I would choose the Nova 5s. They're doing everything I want, and I'm going to save some money. But does that mean I'm going to box up my ever so gorgeous custom Nova 7s here? I mean, I can't change out the ear cup plate on the Nova 5s, but I can swap out the ear pads and the headbands. Probably going to have to get with Wicked Cushions and customize these up a bit, because I am going with the Nova 5s. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was able to help you out, but most importantly, I hope it was able to save you some money. Maybe you can add some of that money to some of those new Turtle Beach products I have coming out for you. So make sure to hit the bell and subscribe for those videos coming up or any other future videos. And again, I thank you so much for coming by for this one. Hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.